Welcome to Beyond Words. Here you'll find captivating stories full of mystery and emotion. Before you dive into this journey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a like. This helps us bring more incredible stories to you. Now, get ready to immerse yourself in the last train to Ravenwood. The last train to Ravenwood. The rain was falling lightly over the empty Ravenwood station when Eleanor Fisher stepped off the last train of the night. The rusty clock above the platform showed it was 11:59 p.m. She pulled her coat tighter against the sharp cold and looked around. There was no one in sight. Her heart was pounding. A year ago, her brother, Daniel, had disappeared after taking the very same train. No clues. No witnesses, just a mysterious note found in his apartment. The last train to Ravenwood, 11:59 p.m. Come alone. Eleanor swallowed hard and walked through the dark station. The ticket booth was abandoned, and the only light came from a flickering street lamp, casting strange shadows on the wet floor. Everything seemed wrapped in a thick mist. The wind howled along the tracks, sending chills down her spine. Then, a headlight cut through the darkness. The train was coming, but something was wrong. It was moving too slowly, almost like it was floating above the tracks. Eleanor saw faces through the windows, pale, motionless, staring into nothingness. Her heart skipped a beat when she spotted Daniel among them. "Daniel!" she yelled, running alongside the train. He didn't react. He just stared at her with empty eyes. Desperation took over. Without thinking, Eleanor jumped onto the last car. The inside was different. The floor was covered in dark red carpet. The velvet seats were worn out, and the crystal chandeliers swayed slightly. But the passengers, they didn't look real. They were shadows of people, faces without expression, motionless. The air smelled musty and something else, something metallic and cold. Then, a soft, raspy voice echoed. "You came, Eleanor." She turned sharply. At the end of the car, a man sat. He wore a dark suit and a felt hat. The weak light hid part of his face, but his smile was clear. "Where's my brother?" she demanded, her voice firm despite the growing fear. The man tilted his head. His eyes were deep, as if they held an endless abyss. "He made a choice, just like everyone here. Now it's your turn." The train picked up speed. The world outside started to distort. The tracks seemed to disappear, leaving nothing but an infinite void around them. Eleanor felt her stomach twist. She looked at the motionless passengers, then at the mysterious man. "I won't leave him here. Tell me how to get him out." The man laughed quietly, a sound that sent shivers down her spine. "You're already in it, Eleanor. The question is, where is this train taking you?" The car shook violently. The lights flickered. Eleanor felt a pull, like something was trying to drag her into a seat. But she fought back, holding onto the side of the car. Daniel blinked. A tremor passed over his face. For a moment, he seemed to be waking up. But the man in the hat stood up, moving toward them slowly. "Courage or desperation?" he murmured. "What defines you, Eleanor?" She closed her eyes, trying to think. Then, she remembered the note. She pulled it from her pocket and held it tightly. The words "come alone" seemed to pulse. The train roared, shaking violently. The man frowned. Eleanor seized the distraction and ran to Daniel, pulling him by the arm. He blinked again. A flash of recognition appeared in his eyes. "Ellie?" His voice was weak, like a whisper lost in time. "Let's get out of here," she shouted. She closed her eyes and squeezed the note. The world around them began to crumble. The sound of the train turned into a deafening roar. Suddenly, silence. Eleanor opened her eyes. She was lying on the floor of the Ravenwood station. The rain was still falling gently. The clock still read 11:59 p.m. Next to her, Daniel was breathing heavily, but alive. The train? It was gone. The two siblings stared at each other, fear still in their eyes. They had made it back. But the note in her hand now had new words written in a handwriting that wasn't hers. A choice always has a price. The train will return, and so will you. The wind blew strongly, carrying the paper away. Eleanor and Daniel stood up, without a word, and left the station. But something told Eleanor that this story wasn't over yet. If you enjoyed the story and want more content like this, don't forget to leave a like and share with your friends. What would you do if you were in Eleanor's place? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And of course, subscribe to Beyond Words so you don't miss the next stories. We'll see you in the next mystery.